Hello there all, and welcome to Husk. What might be Husk? Let's find out. So we get options, controls, rebindable, always good. Oh, I didn't see that. Oh, you've got gamepad support as well. But I'm, of course, first person, so mouse and keyboard all the way. Not much in the way of video options. A bit more here. But enough of this. What we'll do is I'll start a new game. Hang on, maybe I can do different chapters. Ah, well that's something. So yes, 8 chapters. 7 even. Yes, 7 chapters. Conserve your ammo. You'll never know when you need it most. Yes, we'll talk about that in a minute. So yeah, the first bit acts as a sort of tutorial level. So it gets off, I mean, initially. Quite an impression.
Where is everybody?
So yes, we've arrived at the town of Silent Hill. Sorry, Shiver Cliff. An easy mistake to make. So that makes a pretty good first impression. It is on the Unreal Engine, of course. So it looks stunning, and I've just come the complete wrong way. Good grief. Yeah, this is something it does when you reload into the game. It often has you facing the opposite direction where you were supposed to be going. And we've got limited sprint. So in a way I say, ambiance is very effective. It's very good looking. The game does that bit well enough, I'll give it credit there.
Hospital. That's where they'll have taken the wounded.
So yes, our family's missing in typical Silent Hill, Shivercliff's tradition. And we've got to find them. Fortunately, you do get a lot of these kind of long areas to traverse even, where not a lot happens. But again, all looks very atmospheric and impressive. And here's our first sort of puzzle. This is very puzzle-like, this game, to be honest with you.
I can't just take it. I should pay for it. Ah, fuck it. There's no one here anyway.
So yes, you just sort of click on the bits to put the torch together, and then you have to screw the top on. Is that it? Oh, which way do we need to go? This way? Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Hey, success. So off we go again, off on our merry way. And we've got a lot of a merry way to go. I'm going to show you the whole amount. I won't cut it or anything. Best to give you the whole vibe. Of course, you've got a limited sprint, so you have to sort of dash for a little bit and then...
Strange. It's usually the car that's damaged.
Then sort of let off and walk for a little bit, then dash for a little bit.
Shivercliff. I used to think this was the worst hellhole of all the hellholes you could step into. A town perpetually reeking of fish and wood. That smell haunts me to this day. Burrowed in my consciousness so deep, I don't think I could live without it.
So, as I say, the visuals, yeah, they're pretty top-notch all the way through, as you'll see soon enough. The amount of environmentals, the level of detail they've packed into each and every place is pretty impressive. You also might have noticed a few stutters. I don't know if that was picked up in the recording software or not. This game does have a few moments like that. Luckily, they're not too bad. I see a lot of the Steam reviews complain about performance issues. I only found a couple of places where I had some really bad frame drops.
Hello? Anybody here?
So the voice acting is pretty good throughout, to be honest with you. Story-wise, not so good, unfortunately. You'll pretty much figure out what's going on long before you reach the halfway mark. And it's not particularly a long game either. Most people seem to report somewhere between 3 to 4 hours. I myself did it in about 3.5 hours to complete the game. No replayability. Unlike Silent Hill, there's no multiple endings. And you'll see another issue with the game, these glowing outlines. So there's our clue, 4951 dummy. And you'll notice that every time you interact with something, it turns your light off. Only a minor point.
Something's seriously wrong here.
And you've got little things like this where you can... Oh, is there another one? I thought I could just pick that up. There's lots of little bits you can just pick up and look at, well, at least early game. But they don't really add anything to the game itself. So yeah, its starting vibe is pretty good. Something like this thing, if I can just flick it around and... Oh, isn't that pretty? And then turn my light back on. But yes, those glowing outlines, basically, if you can interact with it, you'll see it from about 20 foot away. You know, it will show up through other walls. If it was on the other side of this, see, there's one of those strange performance drops. Just make typing this in fun. 4, 9. My mouse cursor feels like it's going through sludge at the moment. Yeah, it just tells us the parking garages. Down we need to go. Wow, this is proper slideshow territory. But it was like this the very first time I played it as well. So this problem is here in the game permanently. It's not the recording software or my PC.
Great. The flashlight's dead. What next?
Glad we didn't pay for it. Piece of cheap Chinese junk.
Shit.
It's just in case you didn't see it there, because it was hard to see. There was a little... something went sprinting across. But yes, I was talking about the glowing outlines of everything. This is the problem. I mean, it looks like you've got a really big area to go exploring in, doesn't it? Looks like you've got really good...
What's going on here? Where is everybody? What's wrong with this goddamn town?
Maybe like Silent Hill, you know, with big sections to free roam and find stuff. But it's really not. It's absolutely linear. It really is. You are going a set way the whole way through. There's no real exploring. And some of the areas can be quite big and openish. But there's never anything to find. Very Twin Peaksy jazz. So yeah, there's just never any reason to explore. There's no story lore to find, no bullets for your gun. So it's just seriously, yeah, I can inspect that as well. So there's all this space in places to go through and just nothing really in it. I say, it looks wise graphically, the detail on everything. So this really is quite a middle of the road experience, to be honest with you. And the reason being, now we know where the keys are, so we can go back and get them. Fortunately, there's not too much backtracking to be done. But yes, the biggest fly in the ointment is undoubtedly the combat. And it's also supposed to be a sneak mechanic, but it's Seems to be utterly random whether that will happen as well, unfortunately. They'll be sneaking along. The AI's, you know, just this sort of cone of detection around them. So even if their back's turned to you, if they're not at the exact distance needed to be away, even though their back's turned to you, they'll detect you. Now, thankfully, there's not too much in the way of enemies in the game, which is kind of lucky because there's not too much in the way of ammunition, because the gunplay in this game is also awful. So we discussed this before in other videos. If you let the player just sit there and look at the monster, it loses all its fear factor. That should have scurried off somewhere. But now, it's just a monster. And as you can see, it's not a very good looking monster. And that's another issue. Unfortunately, the character models, the monsters themselves, are pretty weak sauce. They certainly don't live up to the rest of the environments. The door. Well, in fairness, there is one sort of boss battle mid-game.
Come to Shivercliff, he said. It'll be fun, he said. Oh, I'm dying mad. Forgive me. I swear, if I get out of this and find the girls, I'll finish that old son of a bitch off myself.
Never said anything of the sort. What are you babbling about? So yeah, so you get something like this, very atmospheric, and the game does have some areas where the atmosphere is really good. But unfortunately, you've also got sort of lots of areas with not really a lot going on. And I say it's all very guided. There's no point looking around at any of these little side alleys or anything.
What the hell is that? It's burning my fucking lungs.
Yes, that's their equivalent of making holes in the road from Silent Hill.
I should search the alleys.
So I say it's a totally mixed bag, but because of yes, if once you get the gun, you do get a melee weapon as well. Well, I say melee weapon, but you can use it. You can only use melee to stun the enemies. You can't use it to kill them. But yeah, there was one boss battle midway through, and still haven't figured out what he had to do with the story. I really haven't. So yes,
Some kind of nightmare. I'm dreaming. This is not really happening.
bit of a mixed bag. Beautiful visuals, some really good areas, some really big areas as well. Some of them. So puzzles are mostly that to do with wiggling your mouse around. You see, that's nothing to do with the game. Ah, there we go.
This could come in handy.
It's lucky you don't have to rely on melee too often, because you have to just press V to melee. Although at least you can use your gun as a melee weapon as well. But yes, I mean, I don't think we'll get the gun in this part of the review. But when you do get it, it's got some really, really horrible gun sway on it. So if you sort of sight by it, it's just like... So basically you just have to let him get really close and then fire into them. Point blank them. And you are often forced into combat. That's the other side of it. So there is a supposedly stealth mechanic. But, yeah, it's random as to whether it works. Which way does it want me to go? This way. It's got to be this way. So, yes, it's a Silent Hill wannabe, which doesn't quite have the story. Audio, visuals, and ambience can be quite excellent. So, here we go.
Oh my god.
Really, really not anywhere close to the rest of the standard these visuals are set. I'm sure there's a door around here to get through. Is it the boxes? Oh no, we just creep through boxes. See, he may not pick me up. I've no idea. Luckily they can't go through doors. And let's just open that again. See if we have a look at his boat race. That's not, sadly. So yes, puzzle light. Most of what it revolves around is going through and finding. See what I mean about highlighted through the walls? Is that a clue or is that a? No, it's just one of the random bits of junk. So you never have any reason to explore. It's a beautiful looking environment. These big open areas you'll get around. Just no reason for any of it. Could have made it all a lot shorter. So yes, this was Husk. An interesting attempt for sure, but badly let down by combat and stealth and monsters. They'd have been better off going for maybe the Outlast type thing where you have to just turbo sprint everywhere. Some bits where you just get chased and have to rush through. Because as I say, everything else is so unsatisfying. See the keys through the... If you do go exploring, there's just nothing to find. Which one's the one we want? That one. See?
There's some way to turn the elevator on.
Now then you let me go to one floor and... Yes, it's not a terrible game. I'll give it credit there. I did play it through to the end. So I think it took me about 3.5 hours or whatever it was. But it's not very good either. It is just so average. It does do some things really well in some areas for setting up the vibe, and it would have been better if they just hadn't gone for combat at all. Fixed the stealth mechanic, and that would have been a much more enjoyable experience. See here, we've got that's it, I remember now. We've got to show play me. What else was I going to do? I wasn't going to eat you, was I? See, no point, there's nothing there to find. Oh, what's that? Right, blah 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 blah, yeah, whatever. So now I just need to click on the tape. Oh no, I'll click on that button first. Oh, and then you've got this mouse scrolling thing, clicking and dragging your mouse across the rewind tape. Why we couldn't use the rewind on the tape player? No idea. It required an extra button programming, I suppose.
I'm leaving this all. Thanks for helping me out yesterday. I'm so excited that I'm going to be able to finally start over again. I'll call you as soon as I settle in Seattle. I'm leaving you the key to the apartment in the drawer with the label. I don't trust the doorman. I'll talk to you soon.
So now we know where to find the key. So yes, there's a lot of key finding basically in this game. So this way we're going. Yeah, yes, this way. Yeah, and that's just so moments like this when you get sort of gunk filled. These gunk-filled apartments and things, it all looks quite eerie and creepy. So there's some good visual and lighting effects later on add to the atmosphere. And they ruined it all by trying to put combat in here. Bad combat at that. So I say, performance-wise hasn't been too bad. It was... I don't know what I checked them doors for. As I say, you are literally following the path. See little moments like that? That's all quite well done. If I remember right, this is actually a sort of Outlast moment. At least I never figured out how to get by this one without triggering it. So do I need to wait for it to move forward? Or? No, it's decided it can see me. There we go. Here's a chance to show you the melee. So it's supposed to stun them for a little bit. Oh, that isn't the right way. Hopefully he'll be trapped in there now because he went through a door. No, he's not. And look at that. It's just not scary, is it, really? Certainly not up to standards of the rest of the game. Yeah, this is why they would have been better off just not putting the combat in at all. Has he lost it? Oh, he's lost interest. There we go. So that was the stealth and the combat with having a melee all in one go. Yeah, they really should have just made you slightly faster than the creatures and had a few chase moments. Maybe you having to break your barrier with the melee stuff instead of fighting. Because it is a massive letdown in the game. Oh, hello. This way, perhaps? Nope. Oh. Well, there we go. There we go, gang. We're concluding our dealings at that. Yes. Really, really lets the game down so badly. So especially some of the boss fights at the end. Or the one boss fight. It wasn't particularly... The monster himself is actually a lot better looking than that. But has no bearing on the story. Even though they make up like it's... You get the feeling it's going to be something to do with it. So I don't want to give any spoilers, of course. But, oh yeah, it's checkpoint-based saving as well, only. But yeah, so then this one best-looking monster has absolutely nothing to do with the story. And it would have been better just to have avoided it. Oh, and there was one at the end. What I thought was a boss fight. And I managed to glitch the AI out completely. So where was I supposed to go again? It looks like it's heading this way. Oh, is that? Oh, it's that's it. We're going to smash that open. Oh dear. So it was a great shame. Some great environmentals, some great visuals. I think that's a health kit. Yeah, there's no inventory or anything like that. So yes, we'll conclude our dealings. This was... What did I say the game was called again? Husk! Husk! You're going to call it Silent Hill for some reason. Definitely a Silent Hill wannabe. Sadly just doesn't have the ability to carry it off. And so mainly because of that awful combat that they decided to go with. They really would have been better off just getting rid of it altogether and just having a few monster chases or something. So we know it all. It's if I was to give it an overall rating, average at very best. I would definitely recommend you only pick this one up on a sale because they do want $15.99 for it. Honestly, can't say it's worth $15.99, no matter how pretty it looks. Like all the pretty ones, it just lays there, which is a great shame. As you notice, it also has a nasty habit of taking your flashlight or your gun off you in an attempt to increase the tension. So I think this is where I lose my...
Piece of junk.
Yeah. So I'll conclude our dealings here, gang. As ever, thank you for taking time to watch the video. I hope you found it useful or interesting in some way. And as ever, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to let me know you're alive. And I'll see you all next time. Bye now.